The other little tidbit that adds to this sad Cubs week would be a happy note for a former Cub, Kyle Schwarber, who
Yeah,
I've
not
loved.
worth re-signing.
Yeah, clearly not worth the $8 million that they could have signed him for. He did sign for $10 million in Washington, and that is a $10 million well spent by the Nationals, apparently, as he's up to, I think, 25 home runs. Although he may have just hit a home run while I was speaking. He tied the major league record for, I think it's 12 home runs in 10 games.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
he
yeah.
tied it because he tied Albert Bell, actually. I heard that. There's so many different records that it changed. Like, he was tying people or going past people every game because he hit so many goddamn home runs. I think he's close to the league lead in home runs. I think he's up to 25. Um, so you feel good for Schwarber, but it's just ironic that the timing of that. He was placed in the leadoff role about 3 weeks ago and has taken that and run with it. Clearly, maybe the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. But that experiment was first tried in Chicago by Joe Madden a few years ago, and it was an abject failure. Somehow Schwarber wasn't right in the right mind space to make that happen at that point, but he certainly is now.
Oh yeah.
I've heard some explanations for that, like why he's figured it out, or why he's so hot right now. It sounds like he's been using a tee in batting practice. I don't know if I've ever seen that, but he says he's using a high tee, like a not in the middle of the strike zone. He's been trying to hit high fastballs.
Yeah,
So
because that's the soup du jour right now, the pitch du jour for pitchers.
and that's been his Achilles heel his entire career, and a major factor in why the Cubs offense has declined ever since NLCS in 2017. Everyone figured out they could throw him high fastballs, and they can't do anything with it. Um, Apparently, all they needed to do was use a high tee and to hit off of, and that would have solved that, because it's certainly working for Kyle Schwarber right now. So
Yeah, I think he's benefiting too. He's not waiting either, and I think he's
mm-hmm.
not because he's the leadoff hitter. He's basically sitting. He's had a lot of first pitch home runs, and he's just like sitting dead red. And if he sees fastball, he's swinging the bat, and they're leaving the park because he's just dialed in right now. I mean, and I think that's kind of you've seen Tim Anderson go for the batting title because he's very aggressive in his first at bat always because the pitcher is trying to pour over a first pitch strike, and why just take it, right,
Yeah.
unless you're unfamiliar with his stuff and want to see it. So his approach has been fantastic. It also brought up the fact that the now ailing White Sox didn't decide to pick him up as a DH this year. Has been a little bit of talk on sports radio and Twitter, but I think
Hindsight.
that one's hindsight because
Yeah.
no one knew the catastrophic injuries they would have. So.